The Eye Care Program. 35 years of alcohol, drug abuse, and violence prevention. Serving the East Baton Rouge Parish community since 1981.
Strong public schools make strong communities. There's an East Baton Rouge Parish School in your neighborhood, building the leaders of tomorrow every single day.
It's a thankless task, but they look after our children and they look after the future of Baton Rouge, the future of Louisiana, and the future of this country.
Our commitment is providing quality public schools for the capital city. For more information, visit us online at ebrschools.org.
Good morning. This is Marlon. I'm a coordinator for Title I with the East Baton Rouge Parish School System. It is my pleasure to be here this morning with Eye Care Live, providing me with an opportunity to share with you, the parents and caregivers of our children, some good news as we move forward with this 2016-17 school year. The title of today's presentation is Parent and Family Engagement: How Active Should You Be in Your Child's Education? I want to start off by discussing or coming up with a definition of what is parental involvement, what is parent and family engagement. Well, according to the No Child Left Behind Act of 2001, it defines parental involvement as the participation of parents in regular, two-way, and meaningful communication involving student academic learning and other school activities, including assisting your child's learning, especially at home, and being actively involved in your child's education at school, and serving as full partners in your child's education and being included as appropriate in the decision-making process. Of course, all the research is there. The research shows that when families are actively involved in their child's education, we're going to see reduced dropout rates and higher graduation rates. We should see increased academic achievement. There should be better attitudes towards learning, and of course, better social skills and less conduct problems. Let's take a look at ways to cooperate with the teachers for the benefit of your child, because we must remember we're all in this together. The parent, the child, and the teacher, with the child or the student being the common denominator. So we must work together. First and foremost, I think it is imperative, parents, that you get to know your child's teacher. It's important that you get there at the beginning of the year if possible. Introduce yourself. Particularly important in the elementary schools. This personal contact is still going to be very valuable in their latter years as they move on to secondary education. It is important that you tell the teachers something about your family and your child. No one knows your child better than you do. You should use this time to share any special goals you may have for the school year. Share your desire to cooperate in case any problems may arise. And this is also a time to find out the best way to communicate with the school. What is the best way to reach you? Is it via email? Is it phone? Is it written notes? Is it text messaging? And also, what is the best time of day to make contact with the school and with you as well as the caregiver? Then there's parent-teacher conferences. My suggestion is to always put forth an effort to make at least one parent-teacher conference per 9 weeks. It is imperative that we stay attuned to what's happening with our children. So when attending these parent-teacher conferences, come prepared, parents. Come prepared with questions and comments. If your child is happy with the classroom, let that teacher know. It's also a great time to share any problems that the child may have mentioned. You need to take notes so you can tell your child about the conference, and when appropriate, I think it is very important to bring your child to the conference. That way, everyone is on the same page, and we have a mutual understanding of what's going to transpire and take place. So as a result, communication is imperative. It is important, parents, that you read all school communication and respond in a timely manner when required. It is very important that you help your child's teacher by returning permission slips or other notes requiring signatures as quickly as possible. For the organized parents, have a place to keep all of these communications from school. All schools are making an effort to keep in better touch with you as a parent or caregiver. Therefore, keep your notifications in a place in which you can always find them. After you have read them, save them perhaps in a box or a basket or another easy-to-find location. Then, of course, we must take the team approach to your child's learning. Ask the teacher if there are ways you can help your child do better in school. If there is confusion about an assignment or a project, how can I get in touch with that teacher for help? Is there a Blackboard page? Is there a homework help website that I can refer to? Let the teacher know that you are interested in your child's progress or lack of it. And do realize that most teachers are very eager to have students succeed, and they are grateful for any efforts that you make towards that goal. Remember, it's a team approach. The parent, the teacher, and the student. We're all in this together. If problems arise, and sometimes they do not blame the teacher, the child, or yourself. However, focus on solving the problem. Focus on solving the problem. Getting angry with the teacher is not in your child's best interest. And of course, we want to lead by example. If you do have a problem with the teacher, it's not appropriate to be confrontational in front of that child or say negative things about the teacher in front of that child. We're not setting the appropriate example. So often a conversation between the teacher, the parent, and the child will help find this solution. Therefore, as I mentioned earlier, I think it's okay to bring a child with you to a parent-teacher conference. And before siding with your child against the teacher, get the whole story. Remember, there's three sides to every story. There's one side, there's the other side, and there's the truth. When parents, family members, I want to also encourage you to get involved in the decision-making process. Does your school have a parent-teacher organization? Is there a curriculum or policy committee or any type of student activity committees? Find a way to become actively involved and lead by example for your child. And of course, the most important method of parental involvement or family engagement, in my opinion, is things that you can do at home to help your child succeed in school. First and foremost, it's important for you to share your ideas about the importance of education with your child. Talk about ties between what your child is learning today and how that knowledge may be used later in the future. Begin to talk about possible education goals for your child. It is never too soon to begin that talk. I really encourage that talk to at least be happening by middle school. Talk about technical and professional schools in your areas. Everyone is not college material. You do not have to go to college to be successful. Therefore, take a look at some of the technical and other professional programs that are in our area and expose your child to them when appropriate. And let your child know that they have many, many educational possibilities. Once again, the four-year college is not always the answer to it. It's not always the right answer. Parents, I want to encourage you to be careful not to pass on negative attitudes about school that may be part of your own past experience. Without realizing it, you can start your child off on the wrong foot by recalling bad memories you had from your own school days. We need to give children the idea that school is there to help them. We don't want to talk about school being too difficult, that teachers are unfair, or that the school is not important. We do not want to discourage our children. Instead, we want to talk about your friends from school, your favorite teachers, or your favorite subject. If you had a bad experience, you might tell them you made a mistake of not liking school and you do not want them to do the same. So that positive attitude about school is perhaps the most important gift that you can give to your child. Let them know that you really value education. You want to help your child set education goals, both short-term and long-term. Talk to your child about the future and plans for high school, technical school, or college. Tell your child you hope they will be successful. You know that they will be successful. A short-term goal may be finishing a writing assignment by Sunday night. A long-term goal could be attending a trade school, the local community college, or a university after high school. Nevertheless, these conversations need to take place. Talk to your child about what they're learning in school. From the kindergartner to the high school senior, it's important to ask your students about their school subjects, what's going on well in school and what is not. Be sure to ask the open-ended questions about their classwork, questions that can't be answered with a simple yes or a no. Then of course you can share any knowledge you may have, and if you are curious, you can read the textbook as well. Then there's organization. It is imperative, parents, that you help your child get organized to do homework. Create a study area or a corner for homework with an expectation. I'm a parent myself, and my son knows when he gets home from school, there's an expectation. First and foremost, I want to see that student planner. It's going to share with me what has transpired in the course of the day or the week at school. What type of assignments have been graded or corrected? Are there any homework assignments? Oh, Dad, no homework today. Well, great. How about 45 minutes of silent reading? But nevertheless, have that expectation in place, a routine in place, and let them know that you're serious about their education. Have a table and a chair in a quiet place away from the TV. You want to limit all type of distractions if possible. Add a lamp if needed. Add a box for books and school supplies. You may have to make a special trip to the store to buy supplies such as your papers, pencils, and colored pens. Make sure they have the tools of the trade, the things that they'll need to do, that they'll need to get their homework assignments completed. And of course, as your child gets older, you might want to add a clock and help keep this area tidy and ready to use at any time. Homework. Decide with your child on a good time to do homework and stick to that schedule as much as possible. Established routines always are more effective. Ask what homework your child has been assigned and look over it when they're completed. Do not be tired about homework though. The goal is for the student to be responsible for getting it done without excessive nagging. And if your child is not getting the homework done, let's talk to that teacher about ways to help them. A joint effort may work better than laying down the law. A study of students who get good grades show that children whose parents talk to them almost every night at dinner do better in school than children who rarely talk to their parents except to argue. With all of that being said, I want to encourage you to try to have at least one meal seated together per week so you can talk about what's going on in everyone's life without arguing. And if you have time, parents, we welcome your volunteer hours. Please come and help volunteer during the course of the school day. There's a multitude of things that you can assist with. We all have different strengths and weaknesses, and we all have something to offer. Most schools have regular volunteers who help at lunch times, office work, or classroom. Many schools are starting new programs that make special use of your specific skill sets. So find out that information and do not hesitate to get actively involved. Parents, there's a multitude of ways to get involved in terms of volunteering, and this can be a whole nother presentation in itself about in terms of ways that you can help. But as we come upon this new school year, the 2016-17 school year, I want to implore you to be actively involved, pay attention to what's happening in terms of grades. Once again, make an attempt to visit the school at least once per 9 weeks, even if it's not for a parent-teacher conference, just to check and see what's going on. Letting your kids know that you value education is going to send a powerful message to them, and I think you'll see better academic performance as a result. Please know that I'm here to assist and to help. I can be reached directly at area code 225-922-5593, or you can reach me via email and mcouzin or mcousin@ebrschools.org. Have a great school year.